morning, everybody. It's about that wonderful time. Yeah. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. Yeah. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. Oh, I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Sharing joy with everybody. God is so good. Sharing joy with everybody. God is so good. Sharing joy with everybody. God is so good. My God is so good to me. Again, sharing joy with everybody. Say, God is so good. Oh, sharing joy with everybody. God is so good. Sharing joy with everybody. God is so good. My God is so good to me. From the top, I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. I woke up this morning singing, God is so good. Here we go. My God is so, yeah. My God is so dry. Whoa, whoa. My God is so, my God is so, oh yeah. My God is so, again. My God is so good to me. Yeah. So true. So wonderful and so true. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see love in every face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. So let's take a moment now and close our eyes. Just let yourself drop into your heart center, where that loving presence, that I am presence, resides within each one of us and everyone you know and meet. That love and that joy that you know God carries with him everywhere he goes. Embrace it. Love yourself. Love everyone around you. Just radiate that love and light that's inside. We were driving home from our trip to Wisconsin.
one point we decided the traffic's going to be heavy, so let's take the road less traveled. And it was a joy, because we just immersed ourselves in nature's beauty as we drove a different way home, and the road was quiet, and it was just such a peaceful way to end the trip. And just remember, that peace, that joy resides within you all the time. It's a matter of whether you observe it, or you appreciate it, or you recognize it, because it's always there. There's always something to be grateful about, always something to be thankful about. I'm thankful for this congregation. I'm thankful for Landis's beautiful music that just raises our vibration as soon as we sit down. And I pray that all of you feel the same, and so it is.
Thank you. You guys just give me so much validation and joy. And I just got to tell you thank you. I'm thankful for the keyboard from Sean. We got it fixed over the last couple of months, and it's just so wonderful. But I tell you, I shared this song, I guess, back in July, and we're going into the holiday season. They always say Christmas in July, and here we are again. It is July, yeah. Okay, so now it is the holiday season, so in all your giving, give what you have. And if you've got joy, share your joy. Just think about that. Just share your joy. That doesn't cost anything. You don't go into debt doing that. Okay. Trusting the gift within, trusting the love I know, I step with greater faith into the world I go, and in the time I have, let there be time enough to bring the mighty, mighty gift of joy. Move from the gift within, move from the love I know, and step with greater faith into the world, just flow, and in the time I have, I will be strong enough to bring the mighty, mighty gift of joy. come alive immediately to share the good and do my best with all my love and tenderness. And I'm learning how to give to those who need me now. And I feel I need them just as much as the flowers need the sun. Move from the gift within. Move from the love you know, and step with greater faith into the world. Just flow, and in the time you have, there will be time enough. Time enough to bring the mighty, mighty. Time enough to bring the mighty, mighty. Time enough, oh, to bring the mighty, mighty. Mighty, mighty gift of joy.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for getting us in the mood for the season. Oh. Unity of Chattanooga is looking for a choreographer.
Love you, Landis.
So good morning, beloveds, and welcome to Unity of Chattanooga's Sunday celebration service on this chilly winter morning, December 1st. And welcome to everyone that is online. Hi, how you doing? How you doing? So if you'd be so kind as to engage with us and with one another and to let us know you were there, we'd appreciate that, and welcome. You are a part of us. So my name is Amanda Adamson, and it is my joy to serve as the president of your board of trustees here at Unity of Chattanooga. I've got to make a comment. If you might have noticed, it's very festive in here. Yes. And isn't this gorgeous? And I want to give a shout out to Ismael for coming up and just totally beautifying our backdrop. Laura, how does that look behind me? and excuse me. And also to Nicole Wellington and the Spirit Group came up here on Saturday and decorated for us. So let's give them a hand also. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, a guitar's under the tree. Oh. So, do we have anyone here with us for the first time today? Oh, Lynn. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. That's not new. And let's just do this anyway, but let's do it for ourselves. Let's bless ourselves, because we have the ability to do this. So instead of you, let's say me. Oh yeah, get her. So, in this way, I love me, I bless me, I appreciate me, and most importantly, I behold the Christ in me. The Christ in me refers to your own divinity, the very same quality of being that Jesus and other spiritual leaders brought forth in themselves and demonstrated in their ministries. Here at Unity of Chattanooga, we welcome all people and honor all paths to God because we're here to celebrate the divine presence in one another. We provide a positive path for spiritual living that we believe the world is ready for. We emphasize the practical, everyday application of spiritual principles that will guarantee a happier, healthier, and more meaningful life. So, the 4 Sundays of December are called the Advent season. Some of us Protestants didn't get to practice it, so it's kind of a fun thing to do, and a deep thing to do, really, a ceremony. This is a special time to anticipate and prepare for the birth of the Christ child within you. The first candle is faith and hope. Faith is the active energy that empowers your thoughts and brings them into manifestation into this human experience. We are always expressing faith in something. Think about that. You either have faith in the spiritual truth, gentle anticipation for good things to happen, or you might have faith in lack and limitations, because doesn't that feel safer sometimes? Like you're not going to get disappointed? Oh. But you have a choice. So we're here to grow our consciousness in an awareness that allows us to recognize where we are placing our faith. To walk in faith is to live in the confidence of expectation of positive things to come. Today, I will light the candle of faith, and we're going to say an affirmation together. This is the first candle of faith. So, I will say it first, and then you can repeat it with me. I let my faith open and guide my way, fully aware and always believing. So please repeat with me. I let my faith guide my way, fully aware and always believing. So, now's the time in our service where we greet and acknowledge those people, they say in our immediate vicinity, and none of you ever listen to that, so I'm just going to suggest it again. So please, stand and behold the Christ in one another in whatever way you choose.
Check.
Yes, that's a perfect suggestion. I was going to raise that and make one person ideas out, you know? But there you go. That's a good one. I'll get it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it's short.
That's a great one. That's a good idea.
Yes. Good morning, ladies. How are y'all? Hey. I think you did a really good job. Yes. What did you try eating? It was good. Good to see you. Thank you.
Good so far. Yeah. I'm doing great.
Wow, you're all back in your seats and we didn't ring the gong or anything. Awesome. But I will have to clear my throat a little bit to, where is the gong? Okay, it's fun to ring. It really is.
Did you guys organize your colors scheme? Did you know he was going to do the exact colors that you're wearing?
Why? No, I didn't. Okay, so today Reverend Danny Spears from Unity of Gainesville, Georgia, was supposed to be our guest speaker. Unfortunately, he's unable to be here today because sadly his husband Richard of 28 years has rapidly declined this week and he's dealing with cancer. Hospice said that it's time for the family to visit one last time. So he sends his regrets. And so let's please keep Reverend Danny and Richard in our prayers for strength, comfort, and peace this week. But the good news is, as a last-minute fill-in, our pitch hitter, our board vice president was willing to step up and be our speaker today. So this morning we are extremely grateful, but you don't have time to get nervous. If, you just get up there. There you go. So, would you please welcome the man who was voted in high school as most likely to become a game show host, Kelly Thompson. Come on down.
Wow. Tell us what we want. All right, then. So, well, our first contestant, please make your way to the podium. How's everybody doing this morning? Great. Oh, this is fun. I'm really glad that I do have the opportunity to speak. And all of you that came to hear Danny speak this morning, psych. We're going to start doing that. We're going to start doing a bait and switch every week. Try to bring more people in, then we're going to switch it out. Exactly. Big names coming. You guys get ready. Yeah, we got Jesus coming next week. AKA Eric. So, there's this couple that are about to get married. There's a Catholic couple, and they're on the way to the church, and they get in a fatal car accident. And they go to heaven, and they're waiting at the pearly gates, and they're sitting there talking, and they say to each other, well, how about we just get married up here? And, they think that's a pretty good idea. So finally, St. Peter comes around, and they ask him, he said, St. Peter, we were on our way to get married, and we were wondering if we could do it up here. We're Catholic, and we'd prefer a priest if that's at all possible. And he said, I've never had that question before. Let me see what I can do. So he goes away, and the hours turn into days, and the days turn into weeks, and the weeks turn into months, and Peter never shows up. So they're sitting there, and they're waiting, they're talking, and they talk amongst themselves, and they think, well, what if it doesn't work out? Can we get a divorce up here? And so after 3 months, St. Peter comes back and he said, okay, I got it all worked out. You guys can get married and we'll have a priest for you. And they said, well, let me ask you something, St. Pete. What if it doesn't work out? Can we get a divorce here too? St. Peter grabs it, throws his clipboard down. He said, "You know how long it took me to find a priest up here? How long do you think it's going to take me to find a lawyer?" Sorry, Kate. Where's Kate? Sorry, lawyers. just had to get that little jab in. So I had to. So today's about faith, being the first week of Advent, the beginning of the Advent season. So let's talk a little bit about faith. What is faith? I'm going to grab this because, I'm one of those guys that likes to move around. I feel kind of caged up here. Is that better? Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to cut this so I don't get any feedback. I'm one of those guys that likes to move around. You ever known anybody that if you hold their hands, they can't speak? That's me. I'm like this, I have no words.
Oh, good, now we know.
Yeah, now you know how to shut me up. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't share so much. So what is faith? We use faith. We kind of throw that word around a little bit. Keep the faith. What's your faith? We use it as kind of how we denote our religion, right? But what is true faith? Scripture says that faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And that's in Hebrew. I really like. Anybody ever go to Truth Unity and look things up? It's a great resource. It's a great metaphysical resource. And this is what Truth Unity says about faith. Faith, the perceiving power of the mind linked with power to shape substance. Spiritual assurance, the power to do the seemingly impossible. It is the magnetic power that draws unto us our heart's desire from the individual spiritual substance. And this is my favorite part. Faith is a deep inner knowing that which is sought is already ours for the taking. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for. Kind of goes back to Scripture on that. So let me say that again. That's my favorite part. Faith is the deep inner knowing that what we desire is already ours. How many of you guys ever worry about anything? Anybody got worries? Anybody ever worried in the past? Okay, all of you guys that didn't raise your hand, you can be dismissed. Because you've already got it. You don't need this. We all worry, right? We all have our little episodes of trauma and worry about what's going to happen in the future. We worry about we worry about our relationships, our parents, our children, our spouses. We worry about our finances. We worry about the economy. We worry about leadership here lately. We worry about a lot of things in our lives. And we've all worried at some point, about all these things. But where does worry come from? Anybody? Fear, exactly. Worry comes from fear. And fear and worry are the twin opposites of faith. Faith, Buddha said that faith is the antidote for fear. Now, most of what we worry about never comes to fruition, right? Mark Twain said, worrying is like paying a debt that you don't really owe. He said that I've spent my life worrying about things that never happened. And that's true. By and large, our worries, we worry about things that never, ever show up in our lives. So, it's kind of fruitless, kind of useless to worry about things. Now, don't get me wrong. We can manifest our fears, but only if we feed into them long enough and strong enough for them to manifest. Now, I've done it both ways. I manifest good things, I manifest bad things, and I'm learning. We all are, right? That's the work, as we figure it out as we go. So it's almost impossible to avoid worry in our lives. So how do we do that? We replace it. If you get rid of something, you got to replace it, right? If you stop smoking, you got to replace it with chewing gum or certs or,
Start drinking. Stop smoking.
That's it. That was the next example I was going to use. Thank you, Eric. But I mean, what do we replace worry with? We replace it with faith. Jesus had some wonderful examples of how he built faith, how he taught faith. When you boil it down, that's what he came to do. Jesus said, I come to bring life and bring it more abundant. And he did that through faith. And he taught his disciples, he taught the people around him, and he did it by example, he did it by teaching, he did it by living it. He lived his faith. And he did some amazing things, but he never said that he was the only one that could do these things. He always told people that it was their faith that made it happen. Every time he'd heal somebody, he would tell them, after the healing, he would say, it's your faith that's made you whole. He always tried to teach in, retrospect like that, and he tried to teach the disciples. And, the stories are funny because, sorry, I feel like I'm walking around. You guys can see me okay, right? I think he got a little disappointed with the disciples sometimes by reading the stories. You can see it in what's going on. He had a lady come up to him. He was in a really crowded square, and he was like moving through with his entourage, all his disciples. Jesus was a rock star, right? People flocked to him because they heard of his healings, they heard what he was doing, and they heard of his teachings, how he taught like no other rabbi ever. So everybody was flocked around him. He was moving through this super crowded square, and all of a sudden he stopped and he said, somebody touched me. And the disciples were like, dude, you're in a huge crowd. Of course somebody touched you. And he said, no, it's not what I mean. Shut up for a minute. Energy's gone out of me. I know something's happening. So he looks around, and there's this lady that's had a sickness for years and years. She spent all her money trying to get well on quacks and people that couldn't help her. And he turns around and he sees her, and he knows instinctively that she's the one that just got the healing. He didn't have to do anything. It was her faith. And he reached down, and she was kind of scared because she didn't approach him first. She just said, if I can just touch the hem of his garment, I'll be healed. And that's what she did. She had that great faith. And he turned around and he said, you know what? You're the one that did it. You're the one that captured the healing. Now, you kind of got to wonder, because it never really expands on the story. Was she pissed because all that time she could have been healed and she didn't know it? How would you feel about that? You're sick for decades and decades, and all of a sudden it's you that triggers the healing? I don't know. But obviously the disciples weren't getting it. There was one story about the disciples were in a boat, right? And they're fishing, and it's kind of dusky dark, and there's fog on the water. You can't really see out very well. And Jesus was on the shore, and he decides he's going to freak them out a little bit. So he walks out on the water to the boat. And he's just kind of cruising slowly. They're way out in the lake, and all of a sudden they see something out there, and they're looking around, and they see him kind of inching up, and they don't know it's Jesus because they can't fully see him. It's just kind of misty and dark, so they think it's a ghost. So they get really scared. What's going on? They've never seen this before. So Jesus comes closer and closer, and he finally gets to the boat, and they're all freaking out, and they're screaming and crying, and he says, relax, guys, it's just me. It's just me. And they see him walking up to the boat, and they're like, what's going on? And Peter says, well, if it's you, Lord, let me come out there with you. And he said, okay, come on out of the boat. So Peter gets out, and he steps into the water, and it's working. And he's like, dang, look at this. This is so cool. So he's walking out to meet Jesus, and he looks around, and there's these waves starting to pick up. And the wind's starting to pick up. And he's noticing his surroundings, and he loses it, and he sinks. He gets into the water. And Jesus comes over and he says, Peter, why? Why did you lose your faith there? Why do you lack your faith? So the next lesson, Jesus is actually in the boat with him, right? And Jesus is down in the cuddy cabin having a nap because he had a long day of preaching the day before. So he's taking a nap, and the other guys are out fishing, and the storm comes up. The storm blows up, and it gets really bad. Like lots of wind, lots of rain, big waves. And this is not a huge boat, so they're worried. They're thinking it's going to capsize, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. And Jesus just keeps snoozing in the cabin. He never gets up, never comes up. So one of the disciples goes down and he says, Lord, we're about to die. We're about to, the boat's about to sink. We've got this huge storm coming up. And Jesus is like, what? What are you talking about? So he gets up and he goes up top and he says, all right, stop. So the winds die down. The rain stops. The waves stop. And he said, you guys suck. You got no faith. He goes back, he grabs a beer, and gets in the lounge area and sits there and contemplates his HR decisions. Peter comes back there and he says, I may need Indeed. I can replace you guys. But, he taught through he taught through doing. He taught by example, which is really cool. If you read some of these stories, you see how impactful they were. And the good news is everybody finally got it, right? They went out and they started their own churches and they spread the word, and everything was good until about 3:25, until it was all edited out. But sorry, lost my place. Got a little ahead of myself there.
I have faith.
Thank you. So I'll just stand here then. I'll have faith that you guys just hear, just hear it without me around there. There was a Roman captain now the Romans, of course, this was an occupied Israel, Judea at the time, by the Romans. And Jesus was walking through the streets, and a Roman captain approached him, and he asked for a healing for one of his servants. He had a really sick servant at home. And Jesus said, okay, well, let's go to your house. And he said, no, you don't have to worry about coming to my house. He said, I'm a man under authority, and I have authority over others. So I understand, the quantum entanglement thing. You just say the word, and he'll be healed. And this surprised Jesus, because this was a Roman. This wasn't even somebody from his faith, so to speak, right? But he understood, and he said, I haven't seen faith like this anywhere in Judea. And then he looked at his disciples. Right, guys? So, what are some of the steps that we can use to develop our faith? So one of the really most powerful steps we can use is gratitude, right? Have a daily gratitude practice. Because when we feel gratitude, anybody ever felt gratitude for something you don't have?
Sure.
Yeah? So that's grasping it, right? We can start off being thankful for what we have, and we feel that really deeply. We want to really get into that and feel it super deeply, and then we can transfer that. We can get a vision of our desires, and we can transfer that gratitude to our desire, and that is so powerful. Gratitude is such a powerful way to develop our faith. And number 2, know that you're worthy. That you're worthy of receiving what you want. You know, some of us feel so unworthy sometimes that we block our own manifestations, right? And really, you know, when you think about it, the concept of worthiness is just not really, you know, valid, because worthy doesn't really enter into it. And I think that's something that we've been programmed through the years. You know, you got to be good, you got to do right, you know, and if you don't, you're not worthy. Well, that's, you know, that's a bunch of junk. That's worthiness is not really valid in our lives. So we should always know that we can get exactly what we need. And we trust the universe, right? Trust is another one. Trust is another big one. I used to, you know, coming up reading the scriptures and you know, hearing preachers talk about how God is able to do this and God is able to do that. And I was always like, well, yeah, he's God. Of course he's able, you know? There's no question of that. But is he willing? That was always my big question. Is he willing to do this for me? You know? And I guess that kind of goes back to the worthiness issue. But we always have to really realize that God's on our side and trust that. You know, if you have a desire, it means that you are able to receive it, that you're able to get there. You know, we actually block our own manifestations. And expectation. You know, we need to set a minimum standard for our lives, and we need to expect to exceed it. Eric Butterworth said, "You do not receive what you want, and you do not even receive what you pray for. You receive what you expect." Right? And that's pretty powerful. So we can develop our faith. You know, it's not inherent. I mean, it is, but we have to develop it. We have to pump it up, especially because, you know, we're programmed, like I said, you know, to feel unworthy and to not feel like that we're capable of manifesting our dreams and our desires. But we have to be really careful not to derail our faith too. We can't give too much attention to the how. And that's so hard, you know. When you set a goal and you try to work through the how, the steps, but the how's not our job. The knowing that it's coming is our job. The how is God's job. And, you know, there's kind of two camps that I'm kind of noticing that, you know, there's the faith without works camp. It's not going to happen. And then there's the it's going to drop in your lap camp. Well, you know, honestly, I don't think it's either or. I think it depends on the situation. You know, I've seen things happen automatically. And I've seen, you know, people get the job of their dreams and they work toward their goals, right? So there was a line in The Secret, I think it was. And the guy's talking about sometimes it just happens automatically. You know, sometimes it's really the most expedient way. And it's not always the destination, but it's the journey, you know, that we're set to enjoy on our way to the destination, on the way to the fruition of our dreams and hopes. So, you know, if we're focusing on the how, we're blocking the end manifestation. So our faith, with our faith, we need to focus on living in the end, right? And, you know, we can do that in reverse too. If we manifest things and then we pick it apart, we can kill our faith for the next manifestation because we don't believe that manifestation was due to our faith. It was due to, you know, the bridge of incidents. That's what Neville Goddard calls it. how something happens, the bridge of incidents. You give credit to the bridge of incidents instead of giving credit to your faith. And if you do that, you negate your miracle, right? So you don't want to do that. You don't want to pick it apart. There's a really good quote. It says, "That's your problem, Daniel son. Always so eager to understand, but not willing to accept." And that was Mr. Miyagi that said that. Very wise man. Thank you. Did I do a good job with it? I'll work on my Japanese. So what does faith feel like? Because feeling is a secret, right? When we feel something, it comes into fruition. Faith feels like confidence, right? Faith feels like relief. Faith feels like trust. And faith feels like gratitude, right? So we work into our faith by our feelings. Right? People always kind of negate the feeling of it and go for the, you got it in your head. It's got to be in your heart too, right? Because mind-heart coherence is so important. You have an energy field, and your heart is hundreds of times stronger than your head. And, neuroscience is starting to prove more and more that your heart is really its own brain. Now, that sounds kind of weird, but it has its own energy field, and it's connected to the brain, but, it has its own feeling. You've felt things in your heart, right? You know that when something gets there, it's so much stronger. You send that out into the energy field with so much more strength, so much more, dedication. You're like a Wi-Fi signal, sending your desires out into the field. And the stronger that is, the easier and faster your manifestations happen, right? So I want to do a quote from Eric Butterworth. I really like the way he says this. This is from one of his essays on abundant living. And he says, "I love the words of Jesus. If ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall say unto the mountain, Be thee removed and cast into the sea, and it shall be done." Is that a bridge too far for most people? Yeah? It is, isn't it? It really is, because we don't take that as literal. But Butterworth did. He said that may, at first reading, seem like fantasy or even poppycock. Who uses the word poppycock, huh? Do you? That's awesome. I feel like I should have a monocle and a top hat to say that word. One of those little, the little cigarettes on a stick, He said, or even poppycock, but it is the unblemished truth. And I believe that. So, if we apply this deep inner knowing to our lives, and to our desires, and to our dreams, we can become limitless. And that's the work, right? To become limitless. So, take up your faith, develop it, and go move those mountains. Let's have a little time of meditation. Let's let that settle. take some deep breaths. Let them out. Let's take one more. One more. Just feel the relaxation pouring over you. Relax your head, your forehead. Relax your cheek muscles and your jaw. Relax your neck, your shoulders, your arms. Relax your chest, your back. Feel the relaxation moving down through your thighs, your calves, into your feet. Feel the relaxation in your arms and your hands. Just continue to breathe. Focus on your breathing. And now, just repeat after me. Everything is working out for me. Everything is working. Everything always works out perfectly for me. Everything works out beautifully for me. Now just breathe. Keep feeling relaxed. Just enjoy it. Let it settle. Now when you're ready, just come back. Rejoin us. Because we got no more music. I was digging that, man, and it just... See ya. It's okay. We needed to cut it off anyway, right?
Yeah.
All right. So thank y'all for letting me share. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I am... Don't applaud. Just throw money. Which brings us to our next section of our... yeah, beautiful segue, right? So now's the time in our service that we give you the opportunity to give back. So, you know, we could give all that we have. And if we don't have the faith that it's going to come back multiplied to us, it's never going to happen. So faith is the key in everything that we do, right? Giving is the catalyst, but faith is always the key. So say it with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in abundance. I receive in abundance. I give in abundance, and I receive in abundance. And I give in love and receive in love.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
Father, Mother God, we just thank you for this abundance. We thank you for the gift and the giver. We thank you that it is multiplied back to us, shaken together, running over. We and so it is. Amen.
I got a lot of announcements. Are you sure you want to stand there the whole time? Wow, thank you, Kelly, and I really love that meditation. That was little Abraham Hicks in there. You did so well. We appreciate you, Kelly. And speaking of faith, that's also one of our, according to Charles Fillmore, I say superpowers. It's the aspects of man or powers of man, and faith is innately already exist within you. You don't have to go search for it. You just have to go into it and allow it to unfold in you. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, so for December, just for a little fun, at the end of each service, we're going to have a drawing. We should have the game show host up here for that. But we have everybody's name in this beautiful plastic bowl here. And what we're going to do each week is draw a name and you win a prize. So y'all show up. People online. So bibbity, bobbity, boo. Jenna Jobson, is she here? Yay! Would you like me to, are you okay with coming up, or I can bring it to you? And this is actually, like I'm going to do a plug here. This is the tower at Unity Village, and you can find this online on their website. It's an Advent calendar, and each day has an affirmation. So Jana, enjoy that, and congratulations. Woo! So here's what's happening at Unity of Chattanooga. Just a little reminder, the 9:15 meditation service is on hiatus throughout the month of December, and we will let you know when it's going to start up again. And we really want to thank Eric and Mona for getting here kind of early and putting this on every week. We've had a good response. Thank you. And this Thursday, and pretty much every Thursday, unless otherwise noted, Wellness Warriors meets here at noon, and Eric facilitates this group, and we've had a really good response. And, this is about building one another up and supporting one another as we realize our health and we come back to our health. So, okay, as the weather gets colder, and it's really cold right now, we have a bin in the library for donations that are needed for the homeless, blankets, non-perishable food items, basic essentials and clothing, especially, like I said, those large sweatshirts, those extra large sweatshirts, those 2X large sweatshirts so that they can layer it and move around. Mittens would probably be good, hats, beanies. And this can be things that you just no longer wear or your children no longer wear. Please bring them because we can recycle them and somebody will appreciate them. And thank you, Mona, for heading this up too. Okay. So this coming Saturday is December 7th, and Heath Llewellyn, where is he? Anyway, he will be heading up our drum circle, and we've had a good turnout and a lot of fun. If you have instruments, bring them. If you don't, there'll be a few that are provided. And this will be at 6 p.m. here on Saturday night. And everybody is welcome, even you people online. So this is one of my plugs. UOC, us, we need 6 or 8 volunteers because we are now in phase 3 of our renovations and repairs program. So this is going to include the basement. And this has been a dream and a wish of a lot of us, and that's to have a children's program. And we're looking at the future, and we have some people that come that have children, and unfortunately, it's hard to say, look, we want to, but we don't have anything for the kids right now. So we're going to change that. And the 6 or 8 volunteers are not for the children, but they are for grunt work. We just need people to come and help us arrange the basement so that we can get repairs done. This is kind of the order of operations. Get things situated, get the repairs made, clean it up really good, and pay somebody to paint it and pay somebody to repair it. But we do what we can, because that's what we do on the board. Like, where can we, what can we do ourselves, to use your money wisely. So I'm looking at maybe Saturday the 4th around 11 a.m. And so please see me, and so we can see if that's a date that works for everyone to come up and, Yeah, the Saturday.
Oh, in January.
In January. Yeah, I'm going to leave everybody alone this month. Because we got a lot of partying and eating to do. I mean, there's a lot. So y'all going to be too tired to work. And I wanted to there are several activities, and everybody can't come to everything, but we have our offering. We're going to have our Wednesday night in lieu of our potluck. We did this last year, and it was a lot of fun. We did a white elephant exchange, bring a little gift, that's funny or you don't like, or that people will fight over, because even though we love one another, we are competitive when we play games. And we're going to provide some cookies and cocoa for you, but that will be in lieu of our regular Wednesday night Unity Connect. So it's a good time, and you won't be out that late. No, that is actually December the 18th on a Wednesday. So, and also we're going to be, we'll get to the other things. I want to make there's a few other things, one of them in which I'm going to go ahead and pitch this real quick. Oh, it's 12:34 and y'all are hungry. I'm going to have my New Year's Eve party again at my house, and the whole church is welcome. If I do not have I have all the members' email addresses, and I'll be sending out evites. But if for some reason I don't have your email address, and this party ends at 10, by the way, because it's New Year's Eve somewhere in the world. And it's a lot of fun, and there's prizes and things. So, if you'd like to join me with that, but just within the next week or so, if you could get me your email address so I can send you an evite. Also New Year's Eve service, but we'll be hitting on that some more. So next Sunday, on December 8th, we welcome a longtime friend to Unity churches all over the United States and worldwide, Dr. Will Tuttle, who's an inspirational speaker, educator, author, and musician. He's got a lot of creds here, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to read all of them, but so in a nutshell, he's going to do our Sunday service, and then afterwards at around 12:15, he's going to provide a workshop called Opening the Intuitive Gate, and this will be offered on a love-based offering. I said that twice. Anyway, he's written books, and one of the most influential is The World Peace Diet, about building radiant health. And he is going to have a special presentation here at 3 p.m. that is separate from the workshop. Hopefully everybody's kind of clear. So it's speak, one workshop, and then a presentation later in the afternoon. So.
And that's actually under Eric. No.
He is doing a special, it says a special presentation, and this is about this is more focused on the world peace diet in that community. So I've already done that. Okay, following today's fellowship, there will be a Power of 8. Is that Judy? Yes. Prayer group downstairs in the basement. Is that where you want to meet? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You get that heater on down there. Okay, great. So, thank you for your patience and of me rambling off, but there's a lot going on and it's exciting. And one day I hope to have like flyers and bulletin boards up. I was sad somebody didn't know we were having our Friendsgiving, and I was like, oh no, I thought we plastered on that. So, like really put the word out, but let us know how we can do better. We didn't get plastered, them plastered them. So disappointed in you.
Disappointment's all.
Okay.
Hey, Amanda, excuse me. Could you mention that it's Power of 8 after service?
Yes.
You-
Oh, yeah.
I guess
I, it's so much. I would tune me out too. So if you would like to receive a personal prayer for either the challenges or the joys in your life, our prayer chaplain available today is Keith Noyes. He is available to meet with you in the back office following the service. And to let you know, this is purely confidential. And this is, it is a blessing if you've never prayed with one of our chaplains. It doesn't have to be a great big deal. It can be, what's on your mind. So please avail yourself. So now, what you're waiting for, we hope that you stay for food and fellowship. And after the service, if you are able, please lend a hand in setting up the chairs and tables. And now, please stand and join us in the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God our Creator, in oneness all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with thee. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.